So we are live and displays. So you guys for coming out. Well, it's a holiday. Let me turn this off. So first I want to talk about the importance of what I want to go into today is beginning the negotiation process, the importance of it. So it's important that you're in a I call it a beautiful state. You're in a state of mind where you can't go into a negotiation. You're talking to the seller. You're trying to get a deal under contract, and you're in a state of depression or anger or mad. It's an uphill battle from there. So what I do is always tell everybody, like when you're talking to sellers, what is your internal state? Are you just in it to? Are you in it to just like, oh, I'm just going to try this out and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to do something else? Is that your state? If that's your state, you're going to fail. Right? You already failed. You know what I mean? This business works. A lot of people are making a lot of money in real estate. So you just need to have a state of, what I do always say is like always be in a grateful, appreciative state of mind. Meaning that anytime I'm angry, pissed, mad, sad, or something happens, you can instantly change your state just by focusing on different things. So meaning that someone comes in traffic, I'm automatically mad. I say, I'm so grateful to have this beautiful car that I have, and these streets that we drive on, we didn't build this, someone else built this for us. You know, these lights, these street lights, these traffic lights, they're all here to protect us, and I'm so grateful for all this to be in my life. So what you focus on, and this could change not just business, but anything in your life, right? Because if you're always in this grateful state of mind, everything in life will be easier, and people will be attracted to you. People will want to meet you. People are going to want to do business with you. So you always got to think, what's my state of mind? And you're like a magnet. You got to think of yourself as a magnet. Am I attracting business or am I detracting business, right? And this is like very important. It wasn't until I got this, that's when I started doing a ton of deals. So for me, I'm always in this grateful state of mind. I'm always trying to help people. I'm always appreciative and grateful. And then I wake up in the morning, I have 30 deals in my inbox to look at. I attracted that, right? I couldn't do that if no one wants to do business with me, right? Because people want to do business with people they like, people they trust, right? So this is very important and how I change my state. I do this throughout the day. I do it maybe 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day. Anytime that I'm angry, maybe I get sad, something happens in my business, like I need to spend $20,000 more on a rehab project, automatically I'm in a state of mind of anger, right? So if I stay in that state, it can affect other relationships, other business with other people, because have you ever snapped on someone just for no reason, just because you're in an angry state of mind? Has it happened before, right? So anytime you're in that state, you got to think, I got to snap out of this. So what I do is I think about moments in the past, moments that happened in the past that you're grateful for, that you appreciate, like the moment your son was born, the moment your daughter was born. What were you doing? How did you feel? What was your expression on your face? So you literally have to close your eyes and walk into the moment and be there for a minute, right? And that's how you change your state in an instant. Like the moment that I got married is a moment I always think about. I walk into that state with all my friends and family, and instantly my state has changed, right? And now I go on that appointment in that state. I don't go on the appointment in an angry state, because that's going to affect my business. So if you're always in the state of mind, you got to think of it like I said, you're like a magnet. Am I attracting business or am I detracting business, right? If you're always worried about finance, you're always worried about something, you're always something you're worried about, that's a state that if a seller comes along, if you're on the phone with them and you're just pushing off worry, they're not going to want to meet you. They're not going to want to set an appointment with you. So it's very important that you always, before the appointment, before you get on the phone with the seller, before any meeting, maybe you're making a phone call to the seller, figure out what kind of state you're in, right? And how to change your state. Think about a moment in the past your son was born, maybe a moment in the past with your parents, a moment in the past that happened that you're truly grateful for, that you love and appreciate, right? Because if you do that 4 or 5 times out of the day, you're gonna, everything's gonna be better. Your whole life is gonna be better. Like I even do it like I'm like on the way here, I'm thinking about everything I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this highway that man built, that I say God built for me. I'm grateful for these street lights, this car. You do it throughout the whole day. You can change your internal state at any time, And this is how you attract business, how people want to come to you. Like the IT guys back there, I attracted Chris into the business, and he created this platform for you guys just because he wanted to do business with us, right? So you always got to think, what's my internal state? And a little trick I do for energy, because who agrees that you have to have energy throughout the day in order to make a bunch of offers? You have to have energy to go on that appointment. You have to have energy to talk to sellers all day. What I do as a little trick is just every time I wake up in the morning, I have to have my favorite music, and I literally jump up and down and move my entire body, and I yell, and now my whole body's awake, right? I do this throughout the day. If I'm in the middle of the day, I'm starting to fall asleep, I do the same thing. I put my favorite music on, and I get what I call a peak state. So I wake up my whole system. My whole body is awake after I'm jumping up and down like a madman, yelling and moving my whole body, right? And if it's like 12 o'clock at night, you have maybe a couple hours left to work, and you're just falling asleep, do this. Put your favorite music on, get up, and now you have another 2 hours of work, 2 hours of energy, right? Yeah, you close it. Let's leave it open, that's fine. So you want to do those things, like your energy level is low. I'm too tired to pick up the phone. Someone's calling you, and you're too tired, and you may lose a lot of money, right? So you need to be able to have energy, be in make sure you control your state, know what state you're in internally, and you can change it in an instant, like I just told you how. So once you're talking to the seller on the phone, right? I'm gonna go over the negotiation part of it, right? Who's been through the negotiation training part of it? Been through it? Yeah. Anyone been through the negotiation training part yet? Personality types. So I'm gonna go over that real quick. So the seller. So we're gonna do marketing. You do marketing for sellers. Sellers call you. You should be inside your CRM, which has the first sell by owner script inside of it, right? So you do marketing, the whole process. We call you. You're in the CRM with the first sell by owner script. The sell by owner script is built inside the CRM. So when seller's calling you, you should be inside the REI Wolf Pack CRM, and the sell by owner script is inside the CRM. Okay. And then my goal, in my opinion, the best thing to do is set an appointment with the seller. So literally the first 20 seconds of what my team is trained to do is set an appointment. So first 10 to 15 seconds is, hey, are you looking to sell your house? I say, yes. Are you the owner? Yes. Are you the decision maker? Yes. Great. When can I meet you?
First thing you say.
That's the first 10 seconds of the conversation. My goal is to get my foot in the house, because I know when I get my foot in the house, I have so many different offers we can make, and I can come out with a contract that leads to money, right? So the goal is to get an appointment. And then if you can't get an appointment with the seller, let's say that the seller lives in Florida, the seller is out of state, the seller doesn't live here, the next best thing is to set a phone appointment. That's the next best thing. you can't get the appointment, the next best thing is to set the phone appointment, right? So you're filing a script with the seller. What do you do next? So our goal, while we're on the phone filing the script, is to find out who they are. And what's the situation? Why they're selling. And the reason being is this is a people business. It's not, you gotta think of it as not real estate, it's a people business. If I help this person out of the situation, it's just making money for me. It's just a byproduct of someone I just helped, right? So if I'm on the phone filing a script with the owner, I'm trying to read personality type. What does that mean, right? So we have 4 personality types that we label somebody. You guys got all that? Let's see if they can see. You guys see online? So we have 4 personality types that we label as a seller, and I'm sure you guys can relate to one of them. So there's a driver. This is me. I've always been a driver. This is a guy that is going to be, you're on the phone with him. He's one-word answers. He sounds like he's in a hurry. Sounds like he's in a rush. So when you're asking him questions like, he's going to just say yes or no, maybe. That's mainly, he's got one-word answers for everything. It sounds like he's trying to, get off the phone as fast as possible. So the driver, you don't want to waste your time. You always got to think, people like themselves. You got to be a chameleon wherever you're at. If someone's a driver, I'm a driver, right? And this is the most important stuff, guys, because if you master negotiations, you create your own money. You create money out of thin air. This is how I make money, is from mastering negotiation, mastering sales and closing. If you can walk into someone's house, convince them they want 200 grand, convince them from negotiation and sales and from learning personality types to go from 200 grand to 100 grand, you just created 100 grand out of thin air, right? Just learning, negotiating. This is the most important thing. You'll find that leads are everywhere. CRM is great. For sale by owner script is great. But the main thing you have to learn is negotiation and sales. Because you can have 100 leads, go on the same 100 appointments as me, and you close 0, I close 100,000 in profit. What's the difference? It's this, negotiations, learning how to talk to people, learning how to close. That's it. That's the only difference. And experience. I've been there 1,000 times, you haven't been there yet. That's it. So the driver, we're finding a sell by owner script, a lead calls us, we label him driver. We have an appointment Tuesday at 7 with the driver. What do we do? So with every appointment we go on, how many races, okay?
Yeah.
Just so I can write some more. So we have the driver, right? So every appointment we go on, we have a folder with us. You should always bring the repair checklist with you. Always bring the lowest sold comps with you. Always bring the contract with you, because our goal is that when we walk in the house is to bring a contract out. So any of the offers that you make, bring the contract with you. So anytime you walk into a house, we have the repair checklist on us. We're checking off everything that needs work. Kitchen needs to be gutted. The bathroom needs to be gutted. So you're just checking out. You don't have to know the exact numbers at all. You're just jotting down what needs to be done. It needs a new roof, needs new windows, needs to do this, needs that. So when I'm meeting a driver, what I teach people to do is don't waste their time. They don't want to waste. They don't want to waste time. And what we do is within a matter of 5 minutes, we blurt out a low offer. But before we make the offer, I always say, try to sit down at the kitchen table, just because when you're sitting down, that's when you can negotiate better. So when we're at drivers, we're doing the repair checklist, we sit down at the kitchen table. We're going to start low. So the driver wants to win the negotiation battle. They're winners. The drivers are the winners. They want to win everything. So when let's say your max offer, you did the formula, you did the wholesale formula, and you came up to your max allowable offer is 100 grand. We're going to start at like 70, maybe, right? We're going to start at 70,000. So once you throw out that low offer, you just got to be ready for the driver to blow up. The driver is going to be like, what the hell are you doing 70? My house is worth 120. You know, maybe they'll kick you out of the house. Get the heck out of my house. Waste my damn time. Great. You can close the door. Sorry. Thanks, Mike. So now you know that they're a driver. You're ready for the blow up. You already know what's going to happen because you're here. You're listening to this. So if they blow up, I blow up right back at them. So like I said, be a chameleon. Like with what they do, I do. So they blow up at me. I come right back at him and say, hey, what the hell you mean? He said, what the hell you mean? It needs all this work. Look at all this stuff I wrote down. I want to buy. You want to sell. Where do we need to be at to make this deal work right now? Right? So maybe he goes 90 right there. Then boom, you already got the deal. Right? But if you started at 100 with a driver, he may have been stuck at 120, right? So there's no room to negotiate. So what we do is we let the driver beat us up we start at 70, and then we let him beat us up until we get to that $100,000 mark. So every time we come up, we act defeated, like we're losing, right? And by the time we're at 100, it's like, listen, man, I like you. I want to help you. I'm going to lose money on this deal, so I'll just sign it just because I like you. So we lost a negotiation battle with the driver. We let them win because the driver is a winner. They want to win. So this is the most intimidating personality type, the driver. So when you're meeting a driver, you just expect maybe some confrontation is going to happen, But the driver is the guy that you can walk out with a contract because they make decisions like this. The driver makes a decision. So when you're meeting a driver, you should walk out with something.
Go to the numbers again. You said start out at 100. Right?
Let's say your maximum allowable offer is 100,000, right? Okay. We're going to start maybe at 70. Okay. And then he's gonna probably be mad because he's a driver. It's what they're gonna get mad at you. And so if you're stuck, maybe you're start at 70, he's at 120. He can beat you up until you get to your offer, which is 100,000. That was your max offer anyway. Let him beat you up until you get there. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah. How many times did you go, with the numbers back and forth? You know what I'm saying? Let's say one time.
Well, maybe you offer 70 and your max is 100, but he comes back at 95, and boom, you can sign up there or try to come down a little more. Yeah. So like I said, it depends on the negotiation where you're at. So the next personality type is analytical. So these are the people that need to know everything before they do anything. These are people that like stats, figures, numbers. They like to see that. They like to see the comps. They like to see the everything. They want all the stats and the figures in front of them, right? So totally different strategy when you meet this guy than this guy. So when I'm meeting Mr. Analytical, I show up at his house. I have every deal we show up to, we have the repair checklist on us. We're writing off what needs to be done. So every property we show up to, we have that. And then we say, hey, listen, let's sit down and get your table. So the analytical, you just got to know that, again, they need to know everything. Right?
So when you become analytical, you're going to ask you everything you just know. You need to ask a lot of questions. So.
Right. So analytical guy, what I'm going to do before I make the offer is I lay all the comps that I have. I'm going to bring maybe 3 or 6 comps and lay them on the table, and they're going to be the lowest comps, maybe pending or sold in the last 6 months, and I'll put them on the table before I make the offer, right? And I put the repair checklist on the table before I make the offer. So before I make the offer, he already understands why you're about to make the offer you're about to make, because maybe he's asking 120, 130, and you're pulling out comps that just sold in the area for 90, 80, 100 grand. So now I can justify making my offer at 70 or 80 grand, right? Because there's comps nearby that sold. So analytical, they appreciate that because they want to know why you're making the offer you're making. How'd you come to that number, right? How'd you come to that number? So if they say I want 120, but you pull out maybe an active or pending comp for 100 and it's the same exact house, they're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. Why would they buy my house when they can go down the street and buy another one for $20,000 cheaper? Right? That makes sense?
So you want to make sure the square footage lined up, bedroom, garage, and all that's lined up,
right? Right. Yeah, so you bring as many comps. Sometimes I bring up to 6 that are active, pending, sold, right? That will support your offer. So if your offer, let's say your max allowable offer is about 90 grand to 100 grand, I'm bringing comps at that price range, right? And I'm getting real comps, meaning that they're within a mile away. They're within the same neighborhood. I'm not pulling something from 5 miles away. I'm pulling real comps that sold nearby, right?
How old are you?
What was that?
How old are you?
6 months. Yeah. So when I pull comps, it's 6 months sold. They're within, let's say that square footage is 1,000, maybe pulling 1,200 comps. And I'm trying to get everything within less than a mile away. Closer the better. You get half a mile, even better. All right. So you can see that if I went to a driver's house and I started pulling out comps and showing them numbers, they would just be like, "This guy's an idiot. I don't care." So it's like you gotta get the right person. You gotta make sure you got the right person, right personality type, right? So you can mess this up, So it's like if analytical guy. Next I'm gonna talk about the social. So the next one is the social. So these are the easiest to spot. So I didn't talk about the analytical with the script. So when you follow the script with the analytical, how to spot an analytical is when you're talking about the property, they're gonna go over all the stats and numbers. They're gonna be like, yeah, the roof was replaced in 2003, the windows were replaced in 2005, brand new furnace. So they know the numbers. They know the comp across the street. So for this much, they know this number, they know that. So they're gonna pull stats on you all the time. They're gonna pull numbers on you all the time. So that's how you spot the analytical. If I'm on the phone, I found the for sale by owner script. He's pulling stats on me all the time. I'm labeling him analytical, right? And then how do you spot the driver when you're on the phone with them? Can anyone answer that?
Well, you don't have time.
He's in a hurry. He's in a rush. One word answers.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're wasting his time, right? You know people like that, right? So now we have the social. The social person, when you're following the script with the social, you start talking about the property, you get to the point of, hey, what's your situation? Why are you selling? They're going to go off on the personal life. They're going to go off like, oh, my wife divorced me, the kids off, and they might talk for 20 minutes after that. So social people are the ones that like to talk. They want to get to know you. They want to chit-chat. So who knows people like that? So the social person, again, you're a chameleon. Whoever they are, you are. I'm now social. I'm going to a social person's house, and I'm negotiating with a social. When I'm probably going to set, at least 2 hours for this social person. You're going to be there. You might be there for a while. Right, exactly. You're a psychiatrist. So a social person, when you show up to their house, I'm just there to get to know them. I'm trying to build a sincere friendship with the social person, trying to build trust with them, right? So I'm not going to even talk about the house. I'm not going to talk about the property. I'll bring the repair checklist, the folder with me. I'll start checking off everything that needs to be done. But when I go to a social person's house, I'm not even going to bring up the house or the price at all. I'm going to wait for them to bring it up. So you might be there for an hour, 2 hours. They haven't brought anything up about the house. You're just talking about your personal life. They ask me personal questions, I'm going to ask right back personal questions. I'm here to get to know them, right? And you see a lot of times, or a lot of deals that we've done that we're doing now, 7, 8 investors showed up in the house. All they did was come and pull the driver strategy. They lowballed the social. And the social goes, I didn't like any of these people. I don't even know who they are. Oh, but I like you. I trust you. Even though your offer is $20,000 lower than everybody, I'm going to go with you because I like you, right? They want to do business with people they like and people they trust, right?
So you said those guys that came off the trigger?
No, because they pulled the driver strategy to the social. Oh. This is what everyone does when they start off in real estate. This is what everyone does.
That's what the gurus teach.
They lowball.
Right.
Everyone's taught to be a driver in real estate. Just make as many offers as you can, lowball everybody, and you get something, right?
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game is what they say, right? But if you take the time to learn this, you know, it's all about conversion rate, right? Like you go on 100 appointments, you get 1 deal. That's hard. That's too much work. It's not worth it at that point, right? But if I can master this stuff, master negotiations, I can go on 10 appointments and get a deal, right? Then business is easier. I'm making more money. I'm working less because every 10 appointments I'm making $5,000, $5,000 versus 100 appointments to get 1 deal. That's a hard business. You'll go out of business doing that because the time to go on 100 appointments to get 1 deal is not worth it. But it is worth it to go through the experience to learn this. You know, as long as you're learning, like let's say that your conversion rate right now is 50 to 1 and you start going on appointments and you should be learning from your mistakes. All right, you know, I read the analytical wrong. He was really social, but how did I read that wrong? So I'm learning from my mistakes. So next week I'm getting better. So I might be at 50 to 1 this month, but next month I'm going to be at 30 to 1. 25 to 1. So you got to track that. Always track that. It's like how many offers I made this month, how many offers I made this week, how many contracts did I get? And that's what the CRM's for. You don't have to do that. You'll see you'll see how many leads came in. You'll see how many leads came in this week, next week. In the entire month, you'll see that 30 leads came in this month and I got 5 contracts. So social people, they want to get to know you. So again, we don't bring up the price or the property at all until they do. And you might be there for 3 hours. You know? I have investors that first it was a seller lead. I went to their house, I built rapport with them, built a friendship with them as a social person, and they became my investors, meaning that they're lending money on rehabs that we're doing now. Right? So this is the power of this. Like one guy, you go in his house, he might have $1 million to invest into 10, 12-year flips, right? That's the power of learning how to build rapport, or learning how to get people become friends with people, you know? Right. So the fourth person is the social conscious, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to write very good for people online. Social conscious people are people that care more about the community rather than themselves. So these will be people maybe like preachers, maybe police officers, firefighters, teachers. They care more about the community rather than themselves. So they're going to ask you questions like, if I sell to you, is this going to be a good thing for the community, or is it going to be a bad thing, right? So they'll be asking you questions like, what do you do with it after you buy it? You know, like, is this a good person that I'm selling to? You know, are they going to make it into like a drug house, or what are they going to do with it? You know, so the social conscious person, again, they care about community. Social conscious person, we're bringing like testimonials. If you donate to charity, make sure you church or charities. We always bring that up to them and say, hey, we donate to this charity. We believe in bringing up the community. You also tell them like, hey, especially if the house needs a lot of work, tell them like, hey, listen, you're bringing all your neighbors' values down. Right now, your house is worth $100,000, but you know it's needing like $100,000 work. So after we're done, after we fix it up and rehabbed it, now the value is going to be $300,000. But right now, you're actually hurting everyone around you because it needs X amount of dollars of rehab. So make them realize that they're hurting the neighborhood, if, you know, especially if it needs work, right? And how I close social conscious people, what we say is like, hey, listen, we just finished up one of our rehabs 2 weeks ago. We typically employ about 12, 13 contractors at a time looking for another job, right? So they look at us like, hey, these guys are creating jobs. These guys are, doing good in the community, right? So these are the 4 personality types we label someone before we're going on the appointment. So are you guys having any questions about like when you're on the script, how to determine who's who? In the CRM, there's actually a tab that you click that you for what personality they are. So in the script, there's a tab that says, are they analytical, social, and social conscious driver? So you click that so you make sure you know what personality type they are. Right? Question?
Now let's say like the social conscious, let's say they gotta be kind of, you're gonna say, well, after you fix my house up, who are you gonna sell it to? Somebody gonna be a nice person in the neighborhood.
Right.
You don't even have those things say.
So yeah, so what we typically say is like, hey, we're gonna fix it up, rehab it, and sell it to a nice family that's gonna move in and gonna live here. So, so does anybody have any questions about how to sort these different 4 people? So whether it's a face-to-face appointment, or you're meeting the person face-to-face, or you're doing a phone appointment, you're trying to do these strategies over the phone or face-to-face, same time. I'm on the phone with the driver. I'm literally going to say the offer in the next 5 minutes or less, right? I'm on the phone with social. I may be on the phone for an hour. I'm just trying to build rapport with them. So does anyone, can I erase this? So I'm telling you, like, negotiations is what's gonna keep you in the business, or you're just gonna struggle and get out of the business. You never master it, you never learn it, you're gonna always struggle, right? Because like I said, you create your own money when you learn this stuff. Like, we just had a deal recently where the owner wanted, I think it's that 4-unit we have in Roseland. I don't know if you guys are on my email list. We just sent it out. We have quite a few buyers. There's a 20K spread in it. He was stuck at 150, and then we were at about 90 grand. How did I get him down? He was a driver. I started at like 70 grand. Exact strategy I just taught you.
What was he? You said he was a driver?
He was a driver, yeah. So I did everything over the phone with him.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So next, I want to talk about the DM. So that means decision maker, right? Let's show up to someone's house, and husband and wife are there. Who are you like? What if the husband is social and the wife's analytical? What do you do? Who are you like? We ask them straight up. We just straight up like, hey. Yeah. So what we do is we just ask them, like, hey, who made the decision, you or your wife? Usually they'll tell you. If they don't tell you, if they say, oh, we both make the decision, it's always going to be the dominant personality type. So obviously the driver is going to be the most dominant. Then there's going to be the analytical, social conscious, then social is going to be on the bottom, right? So if you got husband and wife, wife is social, husband's a driver. I'm gonna, like, the wife might be chit-chatting me, trying to get to know me, but I'm ignoring her. I'm talking to the husband. I'm communicating. I'm being a chameleon to husband because he's the decision maker. He's the driver.
So you said you wouldn't ignore the wife?
I wouldn't necessarily ignore her, but I would like the husband, one word answers, yes, no, maybe, I'm a chameleon to the decision maker. right?
Okay.
Right? So it'd be a chameleon where we got like you walk into a house and let's say you hate cats and they have 5 cats. I love cats now. Just, I'm serious. Like if you walk in there, oh, I hate cats, and you're a cat lover, you just killed all your rapport. This is common sense, right? So they have a bunch of dogs. You hate dogs. I'm on the floor with the dogs playing. You know, so always be a chameleon. What we do is always mirror match, not energy levels, tonality. I know there's a lot of stuff, guys, but it will become second nature the more you do it, right? Mirror and match energy levels, meaning if a guy you're mirroring matching on the phone and in person. If a guy is high energy, he's all like high energy, talks really fast. I'm high energy, I talk really fast. I can't go, it's hard to build rapport with someone if he's high energy and I'm down here and I'm talking really slow, right? Like New Yorkers that talk really super fast, how do people from the South and Alabama think about them that talk really slow? They don't like them. They think like, these people are weird. Why do they talk like that? People like themselves. And you can use we use these techniques and these strategies. There's a barrier, right? To break through that barrier to build a friendship, right? Like we got to break through that initial barrier, and this is how you do it with these strategies. So mirror match energy levels. So if someone's down and depressed, you walk into their house and they're like, oh, life sucks and everything sucks. Hey, I understand. Life is rough now. It sucks. The same way. Mirror match tonality. Like I said, if someone's talking really fast and loud, I'm talking fast and loud right back at them. If a grandma calls you, they talk really soft and sweet and they're on the phone. I'm also talking soft and sweet when I'm on the phone with them, right? And this is a way to break through the barrier of that. I know you guys, when we do the marketing, you get a lot of pissed off people that call you back, right? Because we're sending out a ton of voicemails to a lot of people, and they're mad. How did you get my phone number, right? Someone's mad and doing that, I'm right back at them. What do you mean? Do you have a house for sale or not? You don't? Bye. Okay. Boom. That's it. Right? Mirror match them on the phone, in person. Mirror match energy level. Mirror match tonality. I had a student where he said, I asked him, like, what do you like? I got all these calls, but I'm not getting any appointments. Like, I went through a little role play. I'm like, okay, so a call comes in and they're mad at you. What do you do? Oh, he said, oh, I'm sorry. I must have the wrong number. He hangs up. I'm like, no, you don't do that at all. No, that's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is say, be right back at him. Like, what are you sending me this damn phone? How'd you get my damn number? I'm right back at him. Hey, I'm an investor. I want to buy a house. Are you looking to sell or not? Right back at him. If he goes yes, then boom, you got a lead. But if you just hang the phone, do nothing with it, right? You have to master this stuff. How to talk to people.
It works.
Oh yeah, that works all the time. Yeah. If you just hang up the phone, what do you got? You got nothing.
No, I'm saying, but
yeah. If you're just scared because they're yelling at you, no. Yeah, you have.
I think a good word that students might want to remember is that it's referred to as pacing. Just a little bit. If he's high, like Russ talked about, just slightly that level of his tonality.
Right.
Just slightly later. So that seems to create the rapport.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily mirror and match accents. Like if I have an accent, I have an accent. But energy levels, body language. If their body language is down, my body language is down. If their body language is up, and I'm mirror matching them. So mirror matching is subliminal way to build rapport. Because like all your, think about like all the friends you hang around with, like your best friends and all that, do you guys all kind of like the same things, right? Am I right?
Mine, the police officers and firemen, so.
Yeah. Like me, guys that hang out at the gym, they're canned and have tattoos. Who they hang out with? Who's their best friends? Same. They look the same. You know, so you gotta think like they hang out with those guys. They're their best friends because they're like them. People like themselves, right? So do you guys have any questions about personality types? Anything here yet? All right, so I'm gonna get into like closings, right? So a lead came in, you followed the script, you read the personality type correctly. Maybe you're a chameleon, you already matched them. If you never close, you're never gonna get it. So you can go all the way. I know a lot of guys that go all the way, and then they just cannot get the close. You know, so that's the next step. You know, what we need to do is always what we do. Number one, we always assume the close. So what I mean is, if let's say I met this social person at their house, I build a rapport with them. They bring up the property price. So what do you think about the property? Oh, I love the property. It's great. The best I can do is $100,000. Would you like to close on the 17th or the 18th? So I just assume they're going to take the deal. If she doesn't say anything, I'm pulling out the contract, I'm filling it out, and I'm going to hand it to her. I'm not going to wait for her to respond to me, right? I'm assuming the close. Another way to do it is the best I can do is $100,000. At closing, would you like a wire or would you like a check, right? So you're giving a alternate choice. It's an alternate choice close. You're assuming the close. I don't say the best I can do is $100,000. What do you think about that? Oh, that's way too low. No, I don't. We don't do that. We assume they're going to take the deal. And if they come back and let's say the social person comes back and they go, oh, that's way too low. With a social, that's when we pull out the comps, right? So the only person we pull out the comps with up front was who? Analytical, right? Social, I'm not pulling out the comps up front. I'm only pulling out the comps when they object on the price, right? So price objection, how to overcome a price objection is I have the comps with me, I pull them out, I show the comps, I have the repair checklist with me, right? So you keep going back to that. Look at, there's a property across the street for $100,000, you want 120, how's it, I'm just gonna go across the street. This doesn't work for me,
What if they don't like your repair costs?
What was that?
What if they don't like your repair costs?
Well, I mean, you just say, we've been doing, you don't have to say you've been doing it, but my team's been doing rehabs for X amount of time, you know what it costs, So you're always gonna assume the close, number one. And this is going to be on every offer. Like, we make 4 or 5 different offers. So, you always, every offer, there's a 3-point checklist in your head. Did I assume the close? Number one. Number two, did I overcome objection? So you got to think, like, if they say, I got to think about it. And then your response is, okay, here's the contract, go think about it, I'm going to head out now. You think you're going to get the deal?
No.
No. So that's just an objection, right? So what I teach you to do is, like, if someone says, I got to think about it, I say, hey, let's think about it together. I'm here right now. I actually have quite a few points to go on after this, so if I leave, this offer might not be valid anymore. So let's think about it right now together, right? And then just let them talk. Give me all your objections. Give me an objection. Hey, the best I can do is $100,000. Well, let's close on the 17th or the 18th. What works best for you?
So how many contracts you bring with you with the social? How many contracts you bring with you? How many offers that you bring in?
The contracts we bring, I always bring all the contracts just in case. So just
You
print them
already
out.
have filled out if they don't send it out.
Yeah, or you can, like, I have some students that have an iPad and they have all the contracts in the iPad and you can DocuSign, So you can do that way, or you can print them out and bring them with you. But give me other objections. Let's say I just offer on your house for $100,000. Give me an objection to my offer. Let's close on the 17th and 18th. What was that?
My neighbor sold for 130 next door.
Neighbor sold for 130 next door. Okay, do you know the square footage, the beds and baths of your neighbor's house?
Exactly the same house.
Was it in the same condition?
Mine's better.
Was it on the MLS? Did it sell on the MLS?
Probably.
Okay, right there you're paying 6% to the realtors, and you're paying another 2 to 3% closing costs. That's almost 10%. So we're getting closer to the number that I'm already offering. Right. So other objections, like the most common objections is like, I gotta think about it. I gotta talk to my wife, right? So if some guy tells me I gotta talk to my wife, and I asked him if he was the decision maker before I showed up, which is what you should all do. I go, what do you mean you talk to your wife? You told me you were the decision maker. Now, do you make the decision or not on this property? Because if you don't make the decision, call your wife right now if she makes the decision.
Would it be best to have both of them there?
Yes, if they both make the decision, I would want both of them there. But my goal is to meet the decision maker, right? So if he goes, I need to talk to my wife. I bring that up, and then I also, if he really needs to talk to his wife before he sells, I literally say, hey, let's talk to your wife right now. Put her on the phone, and let's talk to her right now.
Well, it's another thing is like I need to talk to my family.
I need to talk to my family. So I say the same thing. Hey, I thought you were the decision maker. Are you not the decision maker in this transaction? All right. So what family member do you need to talk to?
All my kids.
You talk to all your kids. How many are there?
Let's say 5.
5 of them. You know what?
Yeah.
Are they nearby? Are they like down the street, or they live upstairs maybe?
Yeah.
Bring them down. We'll all talk together. So your mindset when you go to the appointment is, I'm coming out with a contract, right? Like, I'm overcoming all objections. I'm coming out with a contract. Another big objection is I have to have my attorney review the contract, right? That's another big objection. So what I do is on the bottom of the contract, I write, okay, you get a 3-day attorney review period. I sign, you sign, I walk away with the contract, right? So, and then I also say, listen, you're gonna, the contract is, we use a 1-page contract that anyone can understand. That's why we use it. We don't go in with an MLS 9-page contract because no one's gonna sign that. 13-page contract because no one's gonna sign that. They're gonna be like, oh, you really need to get 10 lawyers involved in this one. So we use a simple contract. Every sentence is easy to explain to the owner, and everyone gets it. And we just tell them, hey, listen, the price works for you, price works for me. And then that's the third thing that you need to do. If they don't sign, is we always do fear of loss. Listen, the price works for you, price works for me. I understand you want your attorney to review the contract, but listen, I only have cash to buy one more property this week. I have 5 appointments today, or maybe it's later in the day. I have 5 appointments tomorrow. So if I leave, I walk out this house right now, I can't promise you that I can sign this contract anymore. So I need to know right now. Let me know right now. So your goal with every offer, there's 5 offers, right? Your goal with every offer is get a definite yes or a definite no. You're not staying in between as a maybe, I got to think about it, I got to talk to my wife, I got to talk to my attorney. I'm either getting a yes or a no.
So let's say if you give him 3 days to let us try to look at it, you going to call him back, or you going to call? Oh, well, you already had the contract signed already.
Oh yeah, I'm walking out with a contract. So if he says that my attorney needs to review this contract, I say, all right, I'm gonna give you a 3-day return review period. I'm gonna fill out on the bottom. So I just write it in as a sentence. You get a 3-day return review period. I sign it. You sign it.
Okay,
so I walk out with a contract.
So he had 3 days.
Right. Exactly.
So if he's serious about his attorney, he's gonna call his attorney tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of them don't even call their attorney.
They don't.
No, they hey, can I use one of yours?
Really?
All right. Oh, so there's a 3-point checklist with every offer. Assume the close, overcome every objection. Because if they object and you just walk away, someone like my company, my team's gonna get the deal, right? And fear of loss, take it away, right? So take the deal away from them.
You fill out 2 contracts, one for them and one for you.
Yeah, like 2 contracts with you, one for you and one for them. So they have a signed one, you have a signed one, you walk out, you get the deal. Right? And make sure you hand them $10 in earnest money. Check or
So
cash.
right, the only earnest money, $10.
Check, yeah. Yeah, make sure you give them a check for $10.
So then you take a report and we go give it to you.
Mm-hmm. Right. So let's say you're on the cash offer, right? And there's you know, you as you get better at this, you'll know that he's about to sign, right? He's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's like this, you know. So what we do with that, if we know that they're about to sign, they're thinking about it, we do this process over again. We go back. So I pulled fear of loss. Like, listen, man, I got 5 more appointments today. If I leave the house now, I can't guarantee that this offer is going to be valid anymore. So let's close on the 17th or the 18th of this month. Which day is better for you? So I'm back into assuming close, right? And then he goes, oh, you know what? I really got to talk to my wife about this, right? He just objected again. So now I'm overcoming that objection. So you may have to do this process 6-7 times on the same offer. Yeah, you know, you may have to do it 5 times on the same offer. You're still on the cash offer. You haven't even talked about the 4 other ones yet. You're still on the cash offer, right?
So you promise him that you let him know that you can close on that day. If he signed it, you guys are gonna close on that day, right?
What was that?
You told him you said we're gonna close on this day.
Right, and that's why you have an inspection period. So let's say that something comes up where it needs way too much work than expected, maybe a foundation thing you didn't see. Then you have an inspection period. The whole contract has an inspection period. You can back out at any time.
7 days.
And your damages would be the $10 earnest money. Our goal is not to back out, of course. Our goal is to close on it so that the seller gets what they want, buyer gets what they want, and then you make money as well.
Okay.
But this makes sense, guys? Like the
Yeah.
3-point checklist in your head, like what you should follow. Did I do never move from the cash offer to the sandwich rent to own offer to the wholesale offer until you've done this first? And there's no way he's signing, like he's not even close, he's not even thinking about it, then I'm gonna move on to maybe the sandwich rent to own offer if I can make that offer, right?
So this approach is first.
It depends, like, let's say this owner owes $100,000, right? And then your max allowable offer, you're gonna come at 70, that's the max, right? So you may have to skip the wholesale offer because it doesn't work. He owes 100 and your max allowable offer is 70.
Okay.
If you make the wholesale offer, you may kill rapport right away. You may just kill all the other offer behind it. So that's why we ask, in the first sale by owner script inside the CRM, we ask how much do you owe, right? And then you can go easily on county websites, Cook County, cookrecorder.com, plug in the PIN number, and you can see how much they owe. And that's in any city, state, county. Usually they have that where you can just go into the county website and find out their mortgage and what they owe.
Oh, that's public now?
Yes, yeah.
What was in the trust?
There's still going to be a mortgage on it. A mortgage holder will record a mortgage on the title, and what's on title is public record. Yeah. So, it's okay, I'll get rid of this.
Yes.
So so you got to figure out what they owe, right? Because you don't want to make that offer. You don't want to make a $70K offer when they owe 100, right? Because you instantly they think you're still in their house. You killed all rapport. You may not even be able to make the other offers after, right? So that's why you follow the script, find out what they owe, how much is owed on the property. So there's the cash offer, which is wholesale. So in your brain, there's a whole process that you should be on when you're on these appointments or even on the phone call interview with the seller. Did I do the 3-point checklist that I just talked about? And then If there's absolutely no, he's not even close, you're not even in the realm of possibility of getting the deal for cash, that's when we move on to the sandwich rent-to-own offer. If you can make that offer, right? So inside the CRM, you need to find out the square footage of the ground level and the basement. If there is a basement, you plug that in. The second thing you plug in is the condition. Is it in great condition? Is it cosmetic? Is it it's called heavy rehab, but that means gut rehab. You click the box. Then you find the 3 highest, plug it inside the CRM, and then you find the rent. So you go to Renometer or Zillow, find out the rent, you plug it in, then it's going to give you the 4 offers on what you should make, right? Has anyone played with that yet?
Yeah, I went through the training.
You got?
I
Okay.
went through the training. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. So you should know the numbers. Like you have the numbers because you can easily go and print that letter of intent out that's going to be inside the CRM with the 4 offers until you have the cash offer, sandwich rent-to-own, wholesale offer, and the option offer. So when you're negotiating with the seller, now you're doing this, you're transitioning to sandwich rent-to-own. So how do you transition from cash offer to sandwich rent-to-own? Is like, Mr. Seller, I understand the price doesn't work, but what are you going to do if you can't sell it? Are you willing to rent the home? He goes, yes. And then boom, I start making this offer. And I literally am doing the same thing. I'm doing the 3-point checklist here, right? So, Mr. Seller, my company also rents the home likes to renting homes for a few years and purchasing it down the line. I understand the cash offer is too low for you right now, but we can offer a little bit higher if we're able to purchase it in 2 years and also rent it from you. Is that something you're interested in? And he goes, yes. Then boom, I'm going to present the numbers with the sandwich rent-to-own. So this is what we can do. Here's the terms. In 3 to 5 years, we can purchase price of $200,000, and then the market rent of let's say $1,000 a month. Is that something? And then I'm gonna assume the close. Say something like, would you like a check? Like once you're ready to sign, would you like a check or cash? So you're assuming the close. So sandwich rent-to-own. Does everyone understand that offer? Sandwich rent-to-own. Let me explain it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's say that the property is in great shape, no work is needed. Let's say that it's 200K ARV, right? So this has its value because there's no work needed, 200K. Let's say the rent is 1,000. So the rent's 1,000 per month. Let's say the market rent, the retail rent is 2,000 per month. So retail value of this property that we're making offer on is 200K, and market rent is 2,000 per month. So with a sandwich rent-to-own, my goal is to create a spread in these two, right? So sandwich rent-to-own, we're always offering, I would say at least 15% of equity. So this offer would be and then we always try to get 25% off on the rent. So this would be about
So you created 30,000 more for equity already?
So I'm making a sandwich rental. Sandwich rental offer means I'm staying in the middle of the deal. So me staying in the middle of the deal meaning that I've negotiated some equity up front and I negotiated a spread in the market rent, right? So if he agrees to this offer, I'm trying to get as long as possible, 3 to 5 years. If I can get it for longer, I would. The longer I control something, the better it is for me. So if he agrees to this, I automatically have 30 grand of equity I walk into and have at least $500 a month in cash flow that I can generate, right? So let's say he agrees to sit the rent to own, and I got the contract, he signed it. You literally can do, there's a lot of things you can do from that point, right? So when I have a sale and rent to own, I can just straight up just sell the property, because on our agreements, they're exclusive agreements, meaning that he can't sell to anybody. We record our options on title, meaning that if he tries to refinance, he tries to sell it, the title company will contact us, let us know that what's your payoff, how much you need, because we have an equitable interest in the property.
So when you do these, you gotta pay you 30K, right? Nobody does, you gotta pay 30K.
Well, I mean, it depends on what price it sells at. If it sells at 250, I lock it in at 170. If it sells at 250, I got 80K, right? So once I have a rental contract signed, I walk out of the house. Literally, you just had a closing happen. Literally, right? Think about it. If he signs this, I have 30K in equity and 500, and I get the keys, and I walk out of the house. I literally just had a closing, because I can now sell the property. I can rent it. I can do a rent to own again to someone else. I can Airbnb it if I want, which will require an investment in furniture, So let's say a true sandwich rent to own, which would be meaning that I rent to own it from the seller, and then I re-rent to own it to a buyer. And I created a spread, and I'm in the middle, and I've created this spread, right? So a true sandwich rent to own is, let's say I sold this property for $215, and I sold it at about a little bit over market rent. You can sell a little bit above market rent and price because you're selling it as a rent to own. So you can ask for a little bit of more market rent, a little bit more in price. So if I sold this on, what I'm going to do is try to sell this for 2 years. So I got it 3 to 5 years. I'm going to try to sell it for 2 years, right? Because if they ever back out, I can do it again. And then your goal two that I didn't discuss is the zero down payment. So my goal is either get zero down, or I'm getting 1 month's rent that I'm bringing down with the owner, right? And then when I go and sell it to this person, my goal is to get 5% of purchase price, which would be around 10 grand. So let's say I did a true sandwich rental on this deal. I rent owned it from the owner, and I re-rent owned it to another party, and I created this spread here. Up front, I walked away with a 10 grand profit, right? And then the cash flow is $700 a month, right? And then the equity, if they get the mortgage, you go down the line within 2 years, I created 45K in spread in the mortgage. And if they get the mortgage, pay the seller off, pay me off, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. And the great thing about this is too, we can what we usually do is we tell the owner, hey, listen, we'll take care of repairs, maintenance, $300 and under. Anything over that, you take care of it, right? And then when we sell it to the third party, the sandwich rent to own buyer, they take care of that $300. So you don't take care of any maintenance or repairs, right? And they take care of all utilities and everything. So you just created this spread here. There is a little bit of liability in this. What if they stop paying, right? You still have to pay the owner, right? So if they stop paying, you still got to pay him, right? So there is in this strategy, there is a little bit of liability going on.
You gotta pay him.
So let's say he stops paying the $2,200, you still got to pay the owner the $1,500 you signed. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who does the eviction process?
So we would be responsible for that, yeah. So that's the risk, right? So you're risking making 45K, 10K up front, and $700 a month. If they don't pay, then yeah, you're on the hook for that.
So
Yeah.
you have a right to evict them based on the sublease.
Right. Yeah. Doing the lease, it's got to say I have the right to sublease. I can do short-term rentals. I can do. You have the right to sign another rent-to-own contract with another party. So.
Let's say you had to evict that San Francisco tenant out. Now, what if it is something that, let's say, you had to fix it up like you bought it, the owner?
So let's say that tenant you're evicting trashed the house, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have insurance, and you make sure that the owner keeps insurance, and then you're on it. You're on the insurance, so that insurance can pay if the deductible is $2,000. Let's say you trash it with $10,000 worth of repairs, the insurance will cover that,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
So is there special insurance for that? Not your company's insurance.
Yeah. So landlord insurance, but you'll be on the insurance policy, so you want to be on it. Because let's say that the owner does a roof claim and he gets $20,000 and he can pocket it,
Right.
without fixing the roof, right? So you want to be on that. You have to sign off on that, right? Make sense? So yes, there is risk in this strategy, but is it worth the risk? Yeah,
Well, you gotta have a little cushion.
I had it where this guy trashed my home.
Whoa.
I did this before. I've done a bunch of these, but this guy trashed the home, destroyed it, stole all my appliances, trashed everything, and the house is probably worth about $150K at most, and it was dated. But I got a brand new rehab out of it, and then it appraised at about $275 after he trashed it. Insurance paid for the repairs. Yes, I did lose about 6 months of rent, but $125K more of equity. Is that worth it?
How long was he in there?
They were probably there for a year, I don't know, a year and a half or something. And the eviction took about 6 months. But the cool thing is that the next month I did it again with a higher down payment, higher purchase price, higher rent, right? So yeah, there is risk involved in that strategy, but it's worth it. And another thing you do, let's say you got this signed here, and then you determine that you want to do Airbnb, right? So there is an investment. Let's say this is just an example, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,000-square-foot home. It's going to cost about $7,000-8,000 in furniture to own it, if you want to own the furniture. And then let's say you put up 1 month's rent. So your investment on this would be about $9,500. But what if you could make, $3,000 to $4,000 a month, right, for the next 3 to 5 years? So if the property, so this strategy, you got an investment in it with the Airbnb. If you're planning on rent to owning that Airbnb, and you have to invest in the furniture, you have to invest in at least 1 month's rent, or if you can negotiate that out, that'd be great. If you can negotiate the owner to the furniture, that would be even better. But you have equitable interest, and you have, we just did a deal like this. We did exactly something like this, and we also listed it at the same time. So it's on the MLS for sale. So if it sells, there's about $50,000-60,000 of equity. But if it doesn't sell, it's making $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, right? So you can do that too. So any questions about this? So, like I said, the reason we don't do owner finance is I contracted 130, 40, maybe 220 properties and closed maybe 5. Owner finance, does it work? Yeah. But it's just harder to convince attorney, seller's attorney, buyer's attorney, seller, buyer, your attorney that, what's the mortgage, what's the interest. So with rent to own, we can simply walk in his house, explain what it means, come out with a contract, and now we basically own the house with that for the next 3 to 5 years. If you don't own it, you control it. Make sense?
A little. So
What's
it's better to do that way instead of owner financing?
I said we don't do owner financing because we contracted 120 properties and closed maybe 5. So for me, that's a waste of my time.
Okay.
Does it work? Yes. Can you do owner financing? Yes. But that doesn't, that's a waste of my time, in my opinion. And the people that killed it were attorneys. Those attorneys
They don't understand it.
They didn't understand it, yeah. If an attorney doesn't understand something, they'll just kill the deal, especially if there's a mortgage on place already. Yeah. Oh, you guys understand sandwich rent zone? So you do the 3-point checklist with the sandwich rent zone, and then if they're not budging, maybe price is too low, maybe they don't want to, time is 6:45. Maybe the price is too low. We can up the price with the wholesale rent. Wholesale rent to own, your only profit is the down payment. So you're giving them full retail, you're giving full market value for rent and price. You can give them up to, if it's worth 200, you can give them 200, right? So wholesale rent to own, your only negotiation is the down payment. So let's do the same house, 200K, ARV, rent is 2K, and then the down payment is, you negotiate it to 0. So when you sell it, your only profit would be in the down payment, because you're going to sell it for the same amount to a wholesale rent to own, to the buyer. You're assigning your contract in this property, like the sandwich rent to own, you stay in the middle, you're assigning your contract. What's great about sandwich rent to own too is that you can always assign that at any time too to someone else. But with this deal, there's no equity, there's no cash flow, so I'm just going to try to get a down payment from a rent to own buyer of 10 grand, right? And what's also cool about this is that you can create notes with this down payment. Let's say that you have a lot of buyers that looked at it. I always try to get the down payment, right? We always try to get the 10 grand. But let's say the most qualified guy has 4 grand, right? I'm going to carry the 6, charge him 10% interest for the next 12 months. So I get $600 a month for the next 12 months, right? So you can create notes out of the down payments. And we do that with the rent to own too. Let's say the rent was $2 grand a month, and they had no down payment, but they're very qualified. We know they can get the loan within the next 6 months, which is great because we have 45 grand in equity. So what we'll do is we'll just add the down payment to the monthly payment. So instead of $2 grand, they're paying $2,700, $2,600 a month, right? That makes sense? Okay. So don't disqualify anyone that doesn't have a down payment, right? Maybe they'll be willing to pay a monthly note. But always, I would always try to get the down payment for sure. And then so with the sound rent zone, let's say that you assumed the close, you overcame their objections, you pulled fear of loss, you said, hey, listen, we're only renting a couple more properties this week. If I walk out, I have 6 more appointments this week, I won't be able to rent property and purchase it down the line. So then you transition to the wholesale rent zone where you're offering them more money, more rent, and it's a more attractive offer to the owners. You see why we transition to different offers? Do you see that?
More options.
This is the lowest. This is higher. This is higher. They're getting more money here, more money here. They're getting less money here. You see how we transition there? Right? And then the next offer would be the straight option. So it could be you could turn it into a net listing, or I call it the same thing, straight option, net listing, interchangeable terms. So what that is, let's say that he needs to sell, right? Let's say that you offered 70 grand and they're stuck at 100 grand. He doesn't want to do any rent to own. He needs his cash in the next 30 days or so. So what you can do is offer a straight option for 100 grand, because maybe retail value is 120, and you can get it for 100 and try to sell it for 115 to maybe a retail buyer. You still have control of the property. Does that make sense? So let's say that let's say that the cash offer doesn't work, okay? Because he's stuck at 100, you're at 70. He's not moving. He doesn't want to do rent to own. He needs his cash out in the next 30 days. Yeah. So you can get a straight option on it because maybe it's worth 120, and you can get it for 100.
Okay.
So you can try to sell it for 110, 115 to a retail buyer and create a spread there, right? So this, the reason why we want the wholesale cash offer, because it's more of not a guaranteed close, but more likely to close, right? And then 2 weeks to 4 weeks. This may not close at all. You may not make any money, right? So don't ever just rely on this. Always, be relentless with the top. There's a hierarchy. You start with cash, sandwich, rent to own, and then you move down to the wholesale rent to own option. But this is always, you can get paid in 2 weeks. You can get 10 grand in 2 weeks rather than I might get 10 grand, but I not, because you're selling to a retail buyer, right? That makes sense? So I'm probably going to end it in about 4 minutes. And then so with every offer, you're doing this, the 3-point, you're assuming the close, overcoming all objections, and pulling fear of loss, right? Does that make sense to how you can do it with all the different offers? Like, for example, fear of loss with wholesale rental. Like, hey, I have a client looking for a rental in the area right now. He's looking at 7 tomorrow. He's going to buy some tomorrow. Do you want to take a look at your property? He goes, yeah, definitely. Okay, let's sit in here, right? Fear of loss. The option be that we do a lot of net listings, we call them. With the option with fear of loss, we say, hey, the realtor has 50 listings on the market or 48 listings. Once he gets to 50, he doesn't want anymore because it's too many phone calls. He stops taking new listings. I know he's got like 6, 7 appointments like today. Do you want to be the 50? Because tomorrow that we probably can't even offer that. Okay. So you're always pulling fear of loss, overcoming all their objections, and assuming the close. Was this helpful?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the last offer, or the 5th offer, we do short-term rentals. So we can partner with an owner using it with short-term rentals. We just had a meeting in Evanston, and literally one of our students, within 20 minutes later, locked up a short-term rental and displaying, and we're furnishing it right now. She's picking the furniture out. So short-term rentals, we partner with the owner. We form a partnership with the owner, and you can get anywhere from 25 to 30% of total revenue, or there's tons of different ways you can structure it. Like, let's say they want $2,000 a month, right, in rent. You can say, hey, listen, you did your research and you think you can get $4,000 to $5,000 a month on average. Listen, you get your $2,000 a month in rent. Anything over that, we can split 50-50. So I'm only getting paid if I perform, right? So anything over that $2,000 a month, we'll split 50-50. That makes sense? And then these are, there's literally no money invested, no risk. Because you're not investing, we're having the owner invest in the furniture. We're providing a service to the owner as far as cash flowing the property. Like we had a deal, I was bringing this deal up. Owner was underwater, 100 grand, and the mortgage was like 3,500, and the market rent was probably $2,000, right? So the only option with that would be like a short sale, right? But she had vacant rooms in her home, and we brought the concept up, and then she wants to do the 3 rooms in her home. Now we have 3 listings that we can put on Airbnb.
So with this one here, we're doing a similar thing, right?
What was that?
This one hearing you right now, they the same thing.
We're forming a partnership with the owner,
Yeah.
and then we're agreeing on a percentage of revenue or agreeing on a certain amount every month.
What's the story how you determine that? What transaction to do that? I mean,
So you gotta so in the training there's a part where it says short-term rental partnership. Watch that video, and that explains, because I have to end this in like next minute or so.
Are you signing any paperwork with the owner?
Yes. Yeah.
So not like orally, no agreement, everything on.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So with the short-term rental partnership, we're basically a part of the owner. They furnish it. They keep all utilities in their name. We're not paying any type of rent. We're not paying anything. We're just managing it for them. We're coordinating the cleaning, coordinating everything. There's a ton of owners out there that try short-term rentals. They try to do everything themselves. They try to clean it, maintain it, do everything, and they go, "Oh, this doesn't work," And then we show them our process. And what we do, we have 24/7 receptionists answering the phones every day, all night, 24/7. It's a key point that you have to have. And then we have pricing softwares where the price may be $50 tonight, but next week it's $300. How do we determine that? We use technology, right?
Does it change the price automatically?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put it on different platforms besides B&B, Airbnb?
Yeah, you can put it on like we tried quite a few of them, but like we can tell you which ones that are bad that you shouldn't put on. So
You put them on this, all of them, do they, like, how they coordinate? What
No, we
days
don't.
are-
no. We try, like, for example, we tried Book.com, and then literally the lead just come to you, and you have to call them and get their credit card and screen them. So there's no screening process. Like we have to be sure that these people are not going to steal our stuff, or damage the property. So that was too much, so we just canceled it. Like, we're not doing Booking.com. It's too much work. So I'm going to end the live. If you guys have any questions that we missed, we'll get to them.